that we do not know.
Is the
but I can
pilot
confirm
dead,
to you.
or do we have any indication of the pilot of this jet?
Well, that's not clear because on the site, as of now, there are no bodies that have been recovered. But obviously, we know that he could have bailed out using the parachute, and that could have landed anywhere. That's also a possibility. But these are
So he could have
visuals
ejected. Right now, no body is what we have been given to understand. Mir, once again, you know, viewers, we will only put out verified information responsibly at this time. It's very, very sensitive these times, and we only want to give out verified information. Mir, you're saying that you're confirming to our viewers that a fighter jet of Pakistan has been shot down in Indian territory, Pampore sector. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes, absolutely. It is in the outskirts of Srinagar. Initially, they thought that this could be a UAV, but now the visuals that we're getting, I can see those visuals. This is definitely a fighter jet. The fuselage.
Mir, I'm going to come right back to you. Hold on to that information. Huge news break that Mir was giving us. I'm going to come back to that. But I want to also take our viewers through the latest news break that we are putting out. Sources have confirmed to India Today that the Indian Armed Forces have conducted airstrikes inside Pakistani territory using Rafale fighter jets equipped with Scalp cruise missiles and Hammer precision-guided munitions. Indian Navy assets also involved for 9 precision strikes carried out from within the Indian airspace, targeting locations across the border. When it comes down to Scalp and Hammer missiles, viewers, these are precision weapons that we've been speaking of, that India has used over the course of the last 2 hours. The information that was filtering in is on these precision weapons that were used in the strike by India in 9 locations in Pakistan. Scalp and Hammer precision munition guided missiles, where the exact location where these missiles need to hit is loaded in and it doesn't deviate from the target. Shivani, you want to add more to this news break?
Preeti, what we are getting is that this was a well-coordinated tri-services Operation Sindoor, where the air assets as well as the naval assets were also deployed along with the Indian Army. And the kind of weapons that could have been used, because, you know, we are waiting for official confirmation, but what the sources are telling, the kind of precision strike that has taken place, this could have been using the Rafale jets and the Hammer missiles, the Scalp missiles that are known for their stealth technology. They cannot be detected in the radar easily, and they can fly up to a low altitude of 30 kilometers. So this could be one of the missiles that has been used against this terror outfit, all these 9 targets that have been destroyed now in Pakistan. And remember, in the naval assets also, the naval assets that were being deployed there, we were seeing that there were some inputs of the P-8I, that is a naval aircraft used for reconnaissance and surveillance purposes. So this was a well-coordinated effort by the armed forces. The missiles that have been used are Hammer and Scalp missiles that are known for their precision strike in a range of around 250 kilometers, and they can fly up to a low altitude without being detected. The stealth technology, the lethality of these weapons is well known, and thus it is being indicated that these could be the weapons that were used in this.
So Shivani, you're actually telling us that this was a tri-service missile strike. This is huge because this is coordination between the Army, the Air Force and the Navy, and in all possibility, Shivani, you know,
So this is how this coordinated operation went on, and we are waiting for more official inputs, Preeti, as the press conference is scheduled for the day at around 10:30 in the national capital, where we'll be getting more details of the casualties to the kind of execution that this was done in this operation, and what all weapon systems and assets were utilized during the operation, and what are the future plans.
Shivani,
as we already
what we can
have been
confirm,
reporting that there are
Shivani, what we can confirm, it was a coordinated tri-service missile strike. And that is huge because it was a coordination between all 3 forces, a tri-service missile strike on these Pakistan targets. All right, we don't seem to have Shivani with us. We're going to try and cut across to our other reporters getting us more. But viewers, I want to... All right, we do have Major General Sanjay Meston with us, defense analyst. General, can you hear me now? General, can you hear me? All right, okay, we don't seem to have Major General Sanjay Meston, at least as of now. We're going to try and cut across to him. But right now, viewers, what we can tell you, that Operation Sindoor, where precision weapons were concerned, a coordinated tri-service missile strike, we've been given to understand that even the Navy was deployed, and in all probability, some of the precision weapons that are being spoken of were actually fired by the Indian Navy. The Indian Armed Forces have conducted airstrikes inside Pakistan territory using Rafale fighter jets equipped with Scalp cruise missiles and Hammer precision guided munitions. Indian Navy assets also involved for 9 precision strikes carried out from within Indian airspace, targeting locations across the border. Shivani, what more can you add to this? Because it does seem that all of this was a well-coordinated tri-service missile strike on Pakistan.
Preeti, certainly this was a well-coordinated tri-services operation. That's what the release also says, that the Operation Sindoor was a well-carried-out strike against the terror outfits at different locations in Pakistan and POJK. In fact, these 9 targets have been neutralized, they have been destroyed, and the kind of execution was done was well indicated in advance since last 2 weeks, when we were seeing all the 3 Navy all the 3 chiefs, including the Navy chief, the Air chief, and the Army chief. They were briefing the Prime Minister in the presence of Raksha Mantri, the CDS and the NSA. So it was quite indicative of the fact that all the 3 forces will be coordinating for a kind of strategic action that they will be taking ahead to neutralize and avenge the deaths of the 26 people in Pahalgam. And that's what has happened. What the sources have been indicating to us, Preeti, that the Navy was also involved, and we've been seeing how the operational drills were in action in the Arabian Sea. A lot of demonstrations were shown. Even the BrahMos was activated in one of the operations that we saw right after the Pahalgam attack. And we also saw how the P-8I aircraft of the Indian Navy was also conducting some drills in this whole area in the Arabian Sea. That means this was a closely coordinated operation between the 3 forces, the Indian Army, the Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy. The kind of assets that have been indicative of being used are the Rafale jets, the Sukhois and the other fighters of the Indian Air Force that have carried out this precision strike against Pakistan's terror outfits. And very important out here to mention that none of the military infrastructure or the civilian infrastructures have been hit in this kind of strike. That speaks about the precision, and this also involves loitering munition, that is the most advanced munition that is used for a specific target in a focused area. So a localized target in a specific area can be hit hard with whole lethality. These missiles that we are speaking about, it has been indicated by the sources, Preeti, that these missiles could have been used in this kind of operation. These are known for their lethality, their stealth, their precision on the targets, pinpoint targets, and the low altitude flying, 30 to 40 meters of altitude that can be taken. So we need to understand that this was a well-coordinated operation of the best of our weapon systems, techniques, and collaboration synergy. What India has been working on since past few years on the synergy between the forces, the Indian Army, Navy, and the Air Force. And in this particular Operation Sindoor, that synergy also shows, that target also shows, the lethality and the stealth weapon system usage is very evident. Preeti.
Well, you know, ultimately, viewers, this is retribution. 2 weeks down, it's retribution. Maybe if there is something called closure to family members of the 26 innocent lives that were lost in the Pahalgam airstrike, the Pahalgam terror strike. All right, viewers, we are getting in more information right now, and I want to bring in Sunil G. Bhatt, who's going to take us through all the 9 locations that were struck by India. Sunil ji, you want to come in and give us more details? All right, we have Mir Farid with us. Mir, Bawalpur, Muridke, Gulpur, Bimber, Chak, Amru, Bagh, Kotli, Sialkot, Muzaffarabad are the 9 locations which are hit. All of them where the intelligence was amassed by RAW, all of them terror launch pads, some of them hideouts of terrorists like Hafiz Saeed.
Absolutely, Preeti. This has taken quite a bit of homework as far as intelligences and the armed forces are concerned, because these are all hideouts of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar, especially Jaish-e-Mohammed, because while we have been repeatedly saying that they have been operating in shadow names like PAFF, like TRF, Kashmir Tigers, but we know that the mothership obviously is the Jaish-e-Mohammed, and we know who are operating Jaish-e-Mohammed and from where. So this is based on intel inputs from agencies, and on the basis of which these targeted attacks have happened, precise targeted attacks against the locations of Jaish-e-Mohammed, especially Lashkar, in these 9, at least 8 to 9 sites which are in and around POK, Muzaffarabad. And we know that post the Pahalgam attack, and considering that Pakistan was expecting a response from India, some of these sites or terror launch pads and camps were vacated. But there were still reports that there were camps where there were Jaish and Lashkar terrorists. They're very much present, and it seems that all these sites have been targeted. One thing that has been made clear from the Indian side, from the army, is that no civilian assets, no Pakistani civilian assets or army formations have been targeted. It is precisely targeting the terror infrastructure, which has been bleeding India since ages. So that part has been made clear, though there are now reports coming in from Pakistan. Their DGISPR and others have said that, in fact, spoken about some casualties, at the same time saying that they will retaliate at their time of choosing and at their own time. So that threat has come from Pakistan. And Preeti, I can also tell you that a fighter jet, as we have reported, has crashed in Papur. And in fact, we'll in some time, although we've got the visuals, get complete reports, because right now, even the security forces, the police hasn't reached the location, based on eyewitness accounts and fire and emergency accounts, that it is a fighter jet. There is fuselage, there is a complete the damage to the fighter jet's parts are scattered everywhere. So that information I can confirm to you. But yes, a massive strike where all built forces, be it the army, all parts of the defense, the trial services, their assets have been used to damage and to smash the terror infrastructure in Muzaffarabad, in and around POK. Preeti?
All right, so we gave out details of 9 locations, the terror pads where India struck. But, Mir, I want to get you back in. You mentioned, once again, I want to take you through the details that are coming in of a wreckage of a fighter jet in Pampore sector is what you're speaking of. Pakistan fighter jet that crossed over to Indian territory has been shot down. We don't know whether the Pakistani pilot is dead or alive.
Well, Preeti, as of now, sketchy information coming from the location, but yes, we've got confirmation that it is a fighter jet. Exactly which fighter jet, which brand, we do not know. We also have no confirmation about the pilot. So that obviously is something that will be clear in some time. But it was a massive fireball that locals reported. Post that, the Fire and Emergency Services Department was informed. And luckily, it has fell in between houses. It has smashed a compound wall. But we've been told that no one has been hurt on the ground. So that is a bit of fortunate news coming in, because it's a very congested area in Papur where this incident has happened. A fighter jet that has crashed. And right now, in fact, I can tell you the wreckage is scattered all over. The fuselage, the nose, everything is evident. So we'll get to know in some time exactly in fact, which plane and what exactly was the nature of this particular crash.
You continue to stay with me. Joining me right now is U.S. Congressman Shri Thanedar, who's given out a statement supporting India, saying my statement on Indian strikes targeting terrorist infrastructure, terrorism should not be tolerated. Shri Thanedar is joining us with us. Thank you, Mr. Thanedar. We are getting a lot of support, global support at that. What India has done is nothing less or more than just retribution. We've given out a responsible statement in which we've clearly underlined that this should not be seen as escalation. This was measured, non-escalatory, and above all, only targeted terror launch pads and nothing to do with Pakistan Army establishment, sir?
Yes.
The question, the question that I'd want to ask you is, India has briefed America. Pakistan has also gotten in touch with America. Now, will there be considerable global pressure on Pakistan, because technically the ball is now in Pakistan's court? Pakistan deems what we have clearly defined as a retaliatory measure to attack terrorism as an act of war.
That's right. And, what I've asked the U.S. State Department to do is do a thorough investigation, investigate the attack in Pahalgam, where innocent Hindus were killed. That needs to be investigated, needs to be found out. Initial indications are that Pakistan has supported these terrorists. This is a state-supported terrorism act is what it looks like right now. But that needs to be investigated, as I'm asking for a congressional briefing on that. But this is a time of need, and the United States must stand by India as India fights terrorism. United States has stood by Israel when Israel is fighting terrorism. In the same way, United States must stand with India. I think India has done a very responsible response. They could have gone wild, but they did not. They have targeted specific infrastructure related to the terrorist attack, and India has the right to protect itself.
All right, appreciate you joining us at this morning, our morning, early morning. Appreciate you joining us. Right now there has to be a global responsibility as well. India, over the course last 3 or 4 hours, has briefed many nations on why India conducted this strike, the nature of this strike, why it only targeted terror launch pads and terrorists, and hoping right now, sir, that enough diplomatic pressure is built on Pakistan that it doesn't retaliate.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pakistan, not only that, but Pakistan must stop supporting terrorism. This is something that United States can use its relationship with Pakistan to ask for that, demand that. And if Pakistan continues to support terrorism, then U.S. must take economic sanctions. U.S. must use its power to make sure that Pakistan complies with its request to stop supporting terrorism across the world.
Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Thanedar. Thank you there, and for your solidarity and your support. Appreciate it. All right, viewers. Now, news coming in. Pakistan, like we pointed out earlier, has confirmed the India missile strike. The Pakistan Army has also confirmed till now that 8 have been killed in this strike there. So that's the latest news that is coming in, that Pakistan Army has given out a figure of 8 that have been killed. We also gave you the first visual evidence, and we're going to play that again, which is in Murid Ke, the mosque of Hafiz Saeed being attacked by these precision weapons. It's a tri-service strike, and nothing can not take away from the moment in history that viewers, that India stands on, where its retaliation to Pakistan is concerned. This has been truly a never seen before kind of retaliation, which was promised by the government and has been delivered. Aptly titled Operation Sindoor. Operation Sindoor is a success. Justice, as per the Indian Army and India, has been delivered. The reason why this operation was called Operation Sindoor, because there were many young couples who, after getting married for their honeymoon, newlywed, had gone to Pahalgam, and there the husbands were picked and killed on the basis of their faith of being Hindu. I want to immediately cut across to my colleague Shivani, who's joining us live for more. Shivani, initial information coming in from Pakistan. The Pakistan Army has confirmed that 8 have been killed in this strike by India.
Preeti, these figures have come from the Pakistani army, but we cannot rely much on Pakistani figures because we know Pakistan of hiding its own casualties too. And what actually the casualties have been, we need to wait for the official confirmation at the press conference. But yes, Pakistan is conducting this briefing right now. It has already confirmed all those locations that were mentioned by India about these Operation Sindoor strikes, where major terror outfits have been, and Hafiz Saeed, for that matter, other Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed outfits have been there in all these locations. So we have been told through our sources that there has been substantial damage, no damage to the civil population out there, because these were the precision strikes that were carefully managed and strategically planned. There is information about how the three forces have conducted these strikes, but yes, Pakistan has confirmed that India has hit its terror outfits very hard. It has been bringing out this information now, as we've already spoken to the United States. NSA has briefed the United States about this operation that has been taken on by India, in which United States was standing as a support to India, as was conveyed in multiple statements, Preeti. Now, Pakistan has also apprised United States about the same, and Pakistan has already given out a statement in which it has called India's Operation Sindoor an act of aggression, to which it reserves the rights to retaliate. But at the same time, we are also getting inputs from the line of control, Preeti, where ceasefire violations continue. But important and notable is that this time heavy artillery gunfires are being heard in this location, to which Indian Army is retaliating befittingly. But certainly there has been substantial damage in Pakistan and POJK, where these terror outfits were running, sheltering, harboring these terrorists who were acting against India and were also involved in the Pahalgam terror incident.
Shivani, stay with me on the news that we are breaking right now. Of the 9 targets successfully hit by the Indian forces, 4 are in Pakistan and 5 in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. So 9 in total, 4 in Pakistan and 5 in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The 4 in Pakistan in all probability have to be in the Punjab province of Bawalpur. The targets in Pakistan include Bawalpur, Muridke, Sialkot, Sarjal. Special ammunition was used to target the terror camps. It was a tri-service missile strike. Shivani, I want to pull you in on this. Can you take us through the details that are now coming in, the micro details of what has been a successful Operation Sindoor?
Sure, Preeti, this has been a strategically, meticulously planned operation by the Indian Defence Forces, not only Army, not only Air Force, but Indian Navy, Air Force and the Army all together. They had planned the strategic precision strike against the terror outfits in Pakistan and POJK in different areas, where 9 locations have been hit and neutralized, causing substantial damage to the terror outfits in this location. And the kind of ammunition that was used seems to be loitering munition that we say, because this is important to understand that India does not want to escalate any kind of tension, any kind of war with Pakistan. India believes that only and only the perpetrators, the terrorists, should be hit hard. No civilian should be damaged in this whole process. That is why specific choosing of these particular weapon systems was done. And we have to wait for more official confirmation on this, Preeti. But we know that how India has been transforming and having these kind of modern weapon systems that can be used for precision striking without causing any damage to the other targets other than what we want to. So these are the 9 specific locations, a focused, measured, precise operation that was carried out in Pakistan, because what the statement also says, that no military outfit or no military infrastructure was touched during these strikes which were carried out in Operation Sindoor. No civilians were hit. only these particular terror outfits where we've been seeing as the bases, the hubs of major terrorists who have been acting against India, be it Lashkar-e-Taiba or the Hafiz Saeed, who's been given a shelter out there, being treated as a VIP. So there might be substantial inputs on the number of casualties, the terrorists who have been destroyed and neutralized in this particular attack, and also the kind of weapon systems that have been utilized and used by the Indian forces. This was a coordinated, precise operation by the Indian forces, to which we were seeing a lot of deliberations happening in the national capital under the monitoring of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is still monitoring the whole situation while this operation was carried out. Preeti, NSA has already briefed the United States, I'm sorry, about this whole operation. A number of ambassadors have been briefed about this operation that India has taken on, and at 1:30 a.m. the operation started. To be precise, it continued for a few minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, when India has hit these terror outfits hard in Pakistan without even entering the Pakistan's airspace. So we have those kind of weapon systems that have a long range. We have a number of missile systems, number of fighters that are capable of these kind of strikes. So what we are getting from the sources, that this was a coordinated operation that had gone inside Pakistan without even entering their airspace and hit them with precision using the scalp and hammer missiles that are the most lethal stealth weapons that cannot be detected easily in radar systems. So this is the power of India's defense forces synergy and the modernization that India has been carrying out in past few years, Preeti. But yes, the situation is still developing. Indian forces are all deployed and on a high alert, not only in Jammu Kashmir, but on all the borders and inside also, as we were reporting of a mock drill that was to be conducted today around 4 o'clock. So we have to see that how the situation develops, what happens next, because LOC is activated. We've been reporting how heavy artillery firing goes on there in different sectors, to which India has been retaliating, and India is ready for any kind of action if Pakistan gets into any misadventure after Operation Sindoor. Preeti.
You know, Shivani, continue to stay on with me. Viewers, there's more breaking news coming in. And once again, none of this is to spread panic, just to give out information, because there are going to be travel advisories. There is going to be restriction where airspace is concerned. And I want to bring in Sunil G. Bhatt, because after Indigo, Sunil, now Air India has come up with its own travel advisory where many flights to many locations, especially where Rajasthan, Punjab, Kashmir are concerned, stand cancelled. Will you give us details?
Yes, Preeti, Air India has issued an advisory a short while ago, and as per that advisory and as per the statement that has come, the Air India has said that that it has cancelled its flights from certain locations, Jammu, Srinagar, Leh, Jodhpur, Amritsar, Bhuj, Jamnagar, Chandigarh and Rajkot. And these flights have been cancelled till 12 noon, and after that a call will be taken that what needs to be done next. And there are two international flights en route to Amritsar that are now being diverted to New Delhi. Remember, Amritsar is located right next to India-Pakistan international border. So all kind of precautionary measures are being taken, and this is being done in view of the escalation of tensions between India and Pakistan. But India has hit Pakistan hard, and Pakistan has been taught a lesson. Pakistan did not mend its ways. Time and again, India urged Pakistan to stop exporting terror, to shut its terror factories, but Pakistan continued to sponsor terrorism against India. And recently what happened in Pahalgam, a horrific terror attack took place. Innocent people were targeted, and this was the tipping point. And now we decided to hit Pakistan hard, not only in Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, but we have hit the targets of Lashkar and Jaish deep inside Pakistan, in Pakistan's Punjab province, and this is huge. And that is why the now high alert has been sounded across the length and breadth of Jammu and Kashmir, particularly at sensitive places, whether it's the line of control and India-Pakistan international border. What we are learning from our sources is that Pakistan is resorting to heavy shelling right now along the line of control, particularly in Poonch district. Civilian villages have also been targeted. We are ourselves on our way to the border areas, and we are going to get ground reports from there. Preeti, back to you.
You know, Sunil, you might want to add to it because as we're going to go along, viewers, we're going to give out information little by little, the fine print of what has been a hugely successful and historic operation that India has carried out with acute precision, viewers. More details coming in now. We gave you the list of the 9 locations that India has struck. Now, there is a new terror control room, or was, hopefully, a new terror control room in Muzaffarabad, which is in POK, from where Pakistan Army and the ISI plan major infiltration bids on Indian soil. The plan for infiltration of Jaish terrorists was always prepared from the new control room 88, built in Muzaffarabad, Pakistan. It was the launch pad of Jaish. The terrorists used to go to transit camps called Savai Nala in Muzaffarabad, Pakistan, for infiltration with the help of the Pakistan Army, and this is what was struck by India. The terrorists from Muzaffarabad were always bought for infiltration from the Dudhnia launch pad, 98 kilometers away from the transit camp of Savai Nala. So all of the 9 spots that India chose, curated, viewers. If you could curate terror launch pads, India did exactly that. The RAW was involved, intelligence agencies were involved, and 7 of these locations were picked, and only precision weapons were used to attack these 7 locations. Very responsibly after that, India gave out a statement stating that this is not an escalation. This was measured. It had to happen, especially after Pahalgam, and India only attacked terror launch pads and nothing to do with installations of the army. On the other side, clearly Pakistan is reading this as an act of war and is looking to retaliate at a time of its own choosing. India at the back of, kid you not, what is history in the making. Kid you not. What has happened is history in the making of India's retaliation to Pakistan, of constantly fomenting terror. But as we go on, we are giving you, the fine print, the details that are coming in, coming through of what has been a super successful, a super historic and successful Operation Sindoor. Retribution, revenge, and if one can call it, closure to 26 families and their loved ones who lost their loved ones in the Pahalgam terror attack. Closure at some level for them. Aptly titled, and sadly, there's a bit of irony to it, Operation Sindoor, because many young women lost their husbands newlywed on their honeymoon to this terror attack at Baisaran Meadow in Pahalgam. These visuals that are coming in would possibly burn into the memory space of anyone who would think of fomenting trouble or terror in India again. This is payback, viewers, and this is as big as it gets. I have with me Ankit Kumar, my colleague, who's going to take us through the 9 locations that India picked, curated as terror hotspots and targeted them with precision weapons. Ankit.
So, Preeti, the entire list, although the official announcement from the Indian Armed Forces is yet to be made, but going by whatever official word that has been put in so far from Indian side, as well as the press conference that was just addressed by the DG ISPR from Pakistan Army, we can divide the entire area into 2 parts. First was the HQ. When we talk about Bahawalpur, when we talk about Muridke again is so critical. We talk about Pahalgam. What about justice for 26/11? When 26/11 happened, all the subsequent reports pointed out to Muridke. That was the place where people like Ajmal Amir Kasab, they were recruited, they were trained, right? So a Lashkar HQ in Pakistan, again Bahawalpur, Jamia Subhanallah. Very interestingly, DG ISPR said east of Ahmadpur. He did not say Bahawalpur, right? East of, because everybody understands Bahawalpur is Jaish-e-Mohammed HQ, right? Interestingly, in March, first week, India Today, we brought a story we showed using satellite pictures how the HQ of Jaish-e-Mohammed in Bahawalpur has been expanding in size, and that was very much visible in satellite imagery. That was only 2 months back. So Bahawalpur has been targeted. As per Pakistani military, it's Ahmadpur East. So what we are given to believe is that Jamia Subhanullah, the HQ of Jaish-e-Mohammed, has been targeted. We now have confirmed visual evidence from Muridke that the entire mosque has been taken down. So unlike
this is Hafiz Saeed's mosque.
this is Lashkar-e-Taiba HQ.
The main
this is the place where 26/11 perpetrators came from. This is the place where recruitment happens. All the dossiers point out way back from 2009. All these dossiers, they all point out to this place called Muridke. And now we have visual confirmation, unlike Balakot, where very precise weapons were
Only
used.
satellite imageries were in place at that point of time. And now
We now have visual confirmation based on local social media accounts who have posted these videos 2-3 hours back, confirming that visual damage can be seen. The second part of these attacks, POK, Muzaffarabad, those kind of places, these were what we call terror launch pads. Temporary places, not HQ level places, but these are the places where recruits who have been trained are sent in POK. So the entire plan, the entire target list can be divided into 2 parts. One, places like Kotli, Muzaffarabad,
Pakistan occupied
and
then province Punjab, which is headquarters
mainland Pakistan, where HQs, recruitment centers, training centers of Jaish as well as Lashkar-e-Taiba exists.
So basically, Ankit, these 7 locations that India struck were chosen, curated with precision, as you said very clearly, as Ankit made it clear, divided in 2 categories. One, Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, terror launch pads, and then headquarters of terrorist organizations like the Jaish, like the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the LET. And viewers, tie it in, the TRF, responsible, which has taken responsibility for the Pahalgam attacks, ties into the Lashkar-e-Taiba, the LET. The LET responsible for 26/11. So it's retribution coming in full circle, not just for Pahalgam. You go all the way back to 26/11 and the hundreds of terror attacks that have taken place in the country, which had the footprint of the Lashkar-e-Taiba. Correct, Ankit?
The visuals that we are showing on our screen is from Muridke.
The one that are coming in of the burning building.
This burning building is the place, the heart of Lashkar operations for more than 20 years now. This is the heart where Hafiz Saeed, the Lashkar-e-Taiba, they all take their oxygen from. So they recruit from all parts of Pakistan, but the training, etc., all according to several intelligence dossiers. After 26/11, there was so much of documentation on how Lashkar works, where the recruits were hired, where they get training, where they get all sorts of military training. Every proof of evidence pointed towards this place called Muridke. Muridke was perhaps the most.
So India struck the nerve center of terror.
Yes, and let me repeat: unlike 2016 September. Unlike February 2019, this time the damage is very much visible, as you can see in these pictures.
Exactly, because still now in Pakistan denied the surgical strikes. There was evidence in terms of only satellite imagery, and here you have Pakistan admitting that India struck. You have visual evidence that is coming in from multiple sources. More details coming in, more news break coming in. Full details of India's strike on Pakistan and POK. Of 9 targets hit by India, terror hub in Muzaffarabad exposed, Pakistan Army ISI control room 88 used for infiltration plots. Sources suggest, now all of this is coming in from source-based information. Pakistan Army and ISI plan major infiltration operation from this new base. The control room, codenamed 88, used to coordinate Jaish terror moves. Jaish launch pad active inside Muzaffarabad facility. Infiltration blueprints regularly made in control room 88. Pakistan Army ISI-backed terror network uncovered. Terror launch operations traced to Muzaffarabad hub. And that is what was attacked and struck by India in the missile strikes. Munish Pandey, my colleague, joining us for more. Munish, what more can you add?
Well, Preeti, it appears that India is struck where it was needed the most, and that is why very specifically the input were not only received but it was materialized also, because this time India has struck on the control room of Jaish-e-Mohammed. There is a place in Muzaffarabad called Sawai Nala. It is 98 kilometers away from Muzaffarabad, and that place was used by Jaish-e-Mohammed as a control room. It was codenamed 88, and with the help of ISI, with the help of Pakistan Army, many activities were planned against India. So this was a terror hub as far as Pakistan is concerned. ISI was fully involved in this. Even Pakistan or army was involved in the operations of this Jaish-e-Mohammed control room. But now what we have been given to understand is that this place was targeted by India, and now it has been struck down in the Indian strike, which is in Muzaffarabad. So it's a huge success, not only for Indian Army, not only for India, but as far as India's action against terrorism is concerned. Remember, India, this Muzaffarabad reference came just within 24 hours when the Pahalgam terror attack took place, and that time there was credible information that even the terrorists who were involved in this terror attack, they were from Muzaffarabad, they were trained in Muzaffarabad, and that is why this input was particularly developed. All the information was gathered, and later when the inputs were confirmed in today's strike, this particular control room has been struck down. Preeti.
Well, you're right there. Vengeance, revenge, retribution, whatever we might call it, history has been scripted, viewers, today. And it ties in not just to Pahalgam, with multiple terror attacks that Pakistan chose to bleed India with. I want to also bring in, Munish, with what Munish was elucidated, Ankit, this is the second part that you were speaking of, because at one part you spoke of mainland Pakistan, which of course the province of Punjab, Muridke, targeted the headquarters of the Lashkar-e-Taiba. On the other hand, the code word 88, where it was the headquarters of the Jaish, which was Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
So, I know we are calling it Operation Sindoor, but this again, and it is so important to reiterate, this is not only limited to Pahalgam. When we talk about Bahawalpur, why Bahawalpur is so critical? You remember the Parliament attack. You remember the Pathankot air base attack. All these attacks are linked to Jaish-e-Mohammed. Jaish-e-Mohammed HQ, again, Bahawalpur in Pakistan. And this Bahawalpur was not an easy target. There is a Pakistan Air Force base in that particular city. So for the Indian Air Force to be able to strike a place...
Can I cut you short? And the reason I'm doing so, Ankit, is entirely because the US Secretary Marco Rubio has tweeted out, and I'm just quoting, "I'm monitoring the situation between India and Pakistan closely. I echo POTUS's comments earlier today," that POTUS is, of course, the President of the United States of America, "that this hopefully ends quickly and will continue to engage both India and Pakistan leadership towards a peaceful resolution." This is very important, viewers, because right after India conducted these strikes in Pakistan, it put out a press release where it clearly stated that this should not be read as escalatory. This was a very, very measured response only to target terrorist launch pads and terrorists, and did not touch any military establishment or installation. And what really needed to be underlined in India's response at that point of time, viewers, was this should not be seen as escalatory. Pakistan, on the other side, has called what India's attack on terror an act of war. Now, India, immediately, the NSA Ajit Doval reached out to America, briefed America on the nature of India's attack on Pakistan and why it needed to conduct it, and especially the locations where it has attacked Pakistan. And on the other hand, Pakistan has also, viewers, reached out to America. Will there now be considerable global pressure? Because the ball technically is in Pakistan's court. Pakistan can choose to look at this as India's attack on terror, however, in the kind of language expected that is coming in from the Pakistan army, from the Pakistan dispensation, political dispensation, seems to suggest that Pakistan would be looking to escalate it. We are already in a place of high escalation where there's heavy shelling going on across the line of control. And from here on, will there be enough global pressure on Pakistan to not retaliate on what was a rightful strike by India? Listen in to the President of the United States of America.
No, it's a shame. We just heard about it just as we were walking in the doors of the Oval. Just heard about it. I guess people knew something was going to happen based on a little bit of the past. They've been fighting for a long time. You know, they've been fighting for many, many decades.
Any message to
and centuries, actually, if you really think about it. No, I just hope it ends very quickly. No, it's a shame. We just heard about it just as we were walking in the doors of the Oval. Just heard about it. I guess people knew something was going to happen based on a little bit of the past. They've been fighting for a long time. You know, they've been fighting for many, many decades.
Any message to
and centuries, actually, if you really think about it. No, I just hope it ends very quickly.
All right, so at the back of it, after being briefed by India, Ajit Doval, NSA, we have also been given to understand that Pakistan has also reached out to the United States of America. The U.S. Secretary of State, Mark Rubio, has tweeted out a short while back saying, I'm monitoring the situation between India and Pakistan closely. I echo what the President's comments earlier today, that this hopefully ends quickly and will continue to engage both India and Pakistani leadership towards a peaceful resolution. I want to connect right now immediately to SP Vaid, former DGP, Jammu and Kashmir. SP Vaid, how do you read the situation currently? The LOC, hot, heavy shelling, not just small weaponry. We are looking at, mortar, artillery shelling coming in where the LOC is concerned. Also word coming in of India of bringing down a fighter jet from Pakistan in the Pampore sector.
See, Honorable Prime Minister promised taking revenge of what happened in Pahalgam, and I think the Indian Armed Forces, all the three services have, in a coordinated operation, hit back exactly on the terror camps, and 9 of them, I'm told, in Pakistan and POK, including Murid-Ke, which we know is the headquarters of Lashkar, and Bahawalpur, headquarters of Jaish. I think it's a significant achievement, and the whole world recognizes India's capability, and Pakistan must understand that we will hit back. India's value system, we avoided the civilian areas. We have a value system. We do not hit the civil people, though the difficulty was that most of these training camps and these terror camps are within the civilian areas. That is the difficulty. So I think a precise hit has been made by through the missiles and our systems. India has that capability. So the whole world is watching, and Pakistan should understand and not escalate. If it escalates, it will be taught lesson by Indian Armed Forces. And
Right.
my appeal through you to the people that don't listen to Pakistan's propaganda.
True.
Just listen to Indian Armed Forces press brief.
Sir, you're bang on. You're very right, because there's lots of misinformation. There are lots of claims coming in from Pakistan at this point of time. And, this is Pakistan propaganda. I think, and it's best to caution our viewers at that as well. But, Mr. Vaid, do you see this as historic now, somewhere down the line? Because, you've been the former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir. You've seen the situation at very close hands. Striking Murid-Ke, striking the headquarters of Jaish in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Do you think the deliverance, the deterrence that we were speaking of has finally happened?
It will have a deterrent effect, and they will think 10 times before strike. They would know that India has hit the mother of their training camps, and that means if next time, if they whenever they think of an attack like this, they will think twice that we can again be hit. So I think the message is very, very clear. We are long of the arm of the armed forces can get your neck wherever you hide. That is very important.
Importantly, SP Ved, the LOC in multiple areas right now hot. What we've been given to understand, Pakistan has now started mortar and artillery shelling in Tangdhar sector of Kupwara. And this will only escalate. So we are in a situation of very high escalation, especially where the LOC is concerned.
Yes, that is the apprehension, and I think people are careful in this whole international border and the LOC of Jammu and Kashmir, and armed forces are very, very alert. If they try to escalate, we will give a befitting reply. I'm told they don't have ammunition for more than 5-6 days. So I think Pakistan better, I hope the better sense prevails and they do not escalate it. But let's hope things cool down after this. But if they try to escalate, India will give a befitting reply. And I think that our government has demonstrated.
So one final question before we let you go. A well-coordinated, precise strike where tri-services were concerned. This is historic in nature.
Yes, it is. In fact, that shows how India's armed forces work with precision. All the three services. That's why you saw during Prime Minister's meeting, CDS along with all three service chiefs and NSA. So the coordination is taking place very precisely. All three services in unison have responded to the challenge posed to India. And I think our armed forces have demonstrated that very, very clearly to the world.
Appreciate you joining us, sir. Thank you, SP Ved, for joining us this morning. Once again, viewers, one thing that we cannot emphasize enough on this morning, this would be our red letter day. Where Operation Sindoor is concerned, where India's response to terror, and this is history in the making when it comes down to that, because this will go down in the annals of Indian history of how India retaliated. It doesn't just tie in to retribution or response or retaliation where Pahalgam is concerned. You can get all the way back to 26/11 and the multiple terror strikes that Pakistan has bled us with. We were speaking of how it was a tri-service strike, a well-coordinated strike with precision where all three services, be it the Air Force, the Indian Army and the Indian Navy, were concerned. Weapons of precision were used. Scalp cruise missiles, long-range air-launched cruise missiles. Their range is over 500 kilometers. And what is, one of their biggest factors that it strikes with precision. The warhead, 450 kgs broach warhead. Guidance, GPS, inertia, navigation system, launch platform.
यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं कि लोग भी काफी यहाँ पर आ गए हैं. हम इनसे बातचीत करने का प्रयास करते हैं. भाई साहब, मुझे बताइए कि जिस प्रकार से जो पाकिस्तान के जो आतंकी ठिकाने हैं उनको हमने ध्वस्त कर दिया है यहाँ पर, मुझे बताइए क्या कहेंगे आप? जो देर रात जो कार्रवाई हुई,
पता नहीं हमें.
अच्छा, अभी आए?
हाँ, अभी आए.
तो रात भर क्या माहौल था यहाँ?
पता नहीं हमें, हम सोए हुए थे.
तो अभी आप बाहर आ गए?
हाँ,
तो यहाँ पर लोग जो हैं अभी उन्हें ज़्यादातर लोग जो हैं वो कह रहे हैं कि उन्हें भी एकदम से ये जब सूचना मिली कि यहाँ पर तनाव बढ़ गया है सीमा के पास, क्योंकि यहाँ पर कुछ एक्टिविटी भी देखी गई थी, एरियल एक्टिविटी भी देखी गई थी और पाकिस्तान ने यहाँ पर दुस्साहस करने का प्रयास किया था और पाकिस्तान के हर दुस्साहस का यहाँ पर मुंहतोड़ जवाब भी दिया गया है. और यहाँ पर अगर हम देखें तो सुरक्षा बल भी भारी संख्या में तैनात है. वहाँ पर देखिए लोग भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा जमा हैं. हम यहाँ पर लोगों की प्रतिक्रिया भी लेंगे, लेकिन जिस प्रकार से भारत ने एक बड़ी इच्छा शक्ति दिखाई है। पाकिस्तान के जो आतंकी ठिकाने हैं उनको ध्वस्त किया गया है और ये बहुत ही बड़ा डेवलपमेंट है। जो आतंक के खिलाफ हम लड़ाई लड़ रहे हैं यहाँ पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ, उसमें हमें बड़ी सफलता मिली है और उसके लिए हमने बड़े बोल्ड कदम उठाए हैं। और जिस प्रकार से किसी ने कल्पना भी नहीं की होगी कि ऐसा भी समय आएगा कि हम मुरीद के को स्ट्राइक करेंगे, हम बहावलपुर को स्ट्राइक करेंगे, क्योंकि 26/11 के आतंकी हमले के बाद भी ये बात सामने आई थी कि इस बात पर विचार किया जा रहा था कि लश्कर के जो ठिकाने हैं उनको निशाना बनाया जाए, लेकिन उस समय फिर ऐसा नहीं हुआ। लेकिन इस बार पहलगाम में जो बर्बर आतंकी हमला हुआ उसके बाद भारत ने अब कड़ी कार्रवाई की है। बताइए।
बहुत अच्छा हमला किया ये इंडियन आर्मी ने, और इनका जवाब चाहिए भी था पाकिस्तान को, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान ने हमारे मासूम भाई बहन जो पहलगाम में हमला किया उसके ऊपर, और ये हमें बहुत खुशी की बात है कि इंडियन आर्मी ने उनके घर जाके घुस के मारा उनको।
यहाँ पर रात भर क्या माहौल रहा अखनूर सेक्टर की अगर हम बात करें?
रात को तो नॉर्मल ही था, तो सुबह हम जैसे 2-2:30 बजे तो हमारी नींद आवाजें आई, हमें
आवाजें यहाँ पर
आवाजें आई तो, और हम जैसे ही उठे तो तब तक हो गया था ऑपरेशन। फिर हमने न्यूज चैनल खोल दिए तो आज तक
यहाँ पर भी कुछ ऑपरेशंस चल रहे हैं?
जी हाँ, अभी आर्मी कर रही है, सब कुछ कर रहे हैं अभी। ठीक है,
आप बताइए जी, आप बताइए क्या रहा रात भर यहाँ पर, क्या चलता रहा?
ये रात भर बहुत अच्छा रहा, जो पाकिस्तान को जवाब दिया है इंडियन आर्मी ने, ये बहुत अच्छा जवाब दिया। हम इसी की उम्मीद लगाए हुए थे। हम ये जितना अखनूर का जूथ है ये फौज के साथ खड़ा है। हमने पहले भी कहा कि हम फौज के साथ शान बशाना खड़े हैं। भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की, इंडियन आर्मी, इंडियन आर्मी, इंडियन आर्मी, भारत माता की जय।
तो यहाँ पर आप देखिए कि भारत माँ की जय का जयघोष हो रहा है, भारत माता की जय का जयघोष हो रहा है। और अगर हम देखें यहाँ पर श्वेता, इस समय आप देखिए कि सुरक्षा बल जो है भारी संख्या में तैनात है और लोगों को कहा जा रहा है कि वो एहतियातन सुरक्षित स्थानों पर जाए, क्योंकि यहाँ पर अभी भी लगातार एक्टिविटी हो रही है। और अगर देखा जाए रात भर भी यहाँ पर पाकिस्तान ने दुस्साहस करने का प्रयास किया था और उस दुस्साहस का मुंहतोड़ जवाब यहाँ पर अखनूर सेक्टर में नियंत्रण रेखा में यहाँ पर भारतीय सेना ने पाकिस्तान को दिया है। क्योंकि जैसे ही हमने पाकिस्तान में आतंकी ठिकानों को ध्वस्त किया उसके बाद पाकिस्तान बौखला गया और पाकिस्तान ने यहाँ पर नियंत्रण रेखा पर अगर हम देखें तो तनाव बढ़ाने का यहाँ पर दुस्साहस किया और उसका मुंहतोड़ जवाब भारतीय सेना ने दिया है। यहाँ पर अगर हम देखें तो एक स्थान पर यहाँ आग भी लगी हुई है। मैं कैमरा पर्सन से कहूंगा आपको तस्वीरें दिखाएं। वो देखिए तस्वीरें, अभी फिलहाल ये स्पष्ट नहीं हो रहा है कि ये क्या हुआ है, लेकिन हमने पाकिस्तान के जो भी दुस्साहस इस क्षेत्र में हुए हैं उस दुस्साहस का मुंहतोड़ जवाब दिया है और पाकिस्तान के हर उस दुस्साहस को विफल कर दिया गया है। क्योंकि जैसे ही पाकिस्तान में आतंकी ठिकानों को हमने निशाना बनाया और पाकिस्तान के अंदर जो लश्कर के ठिकाने हैं, जैश के ठिकाने हैं, खूंखार आतंकी संगठन के जो ठिकाने हैं उनको ध्वस्त किया गया। उसके बाद बौखलाहट में पाकिस्तान ने यहाँ अगर देखा जाए तो जम्मू कश्मीर के कई इलाकों में सीज फायर का उल्लंघन किया और यहाँ पर शेलिंग भी काफी ज्यादा हुई और उसका मुंहतोड़ जवाब भारतीय सेना लगातार यहाँ पर दे रही है। श्वेता।
All right, my colleague Sunil G. Bhatt reporting from Akhnur, where you can see the residents there. They've been coming out because it was right after that attack by India. There has been heavy artillery fire across the LOC in the Akhnur sector and other areas of the LOC as well. We're going to continue to cut across to our correspondents who are making their way to various points of the LOC, which right now are reverberating with mortar fire. Word coming in that especially Pakistan, in Kupwara, in Uri, in Poonch, in Akhnur, that we just pointed out there, has upped the exchange of fire, and it's no longer small firearms that are being used, but heavy mortar shelling continuing across the LOC. That was Sunil G. Bhatt reporting, but what you continue to see on your television screen, viewers, and I would reckon that that visual is going to burn into the memory space of anyone who wants to foment trouble and terrorism on Indian soil. And that is that visual of that bomb dropping in Muridke. And I want to bring in Ankit Kumar, who's going to be talking a little bit more of the importance of that visual, Ankit, because this has taken years, decades in the coming for India in terms of deliverance and retribution.
So let's talk about target number one. That's Bahawalpur. HQ of Jaish-e-Mohammed, roughly 100 kilometers from international border, situated on a highway but very close to a Pakistan Air Force base. So you have to understand why Masood Azhar felt so safe establishing Jaish-e-Mohammed headquarters at a place where Pakistani fighter jets would be stationed only a few kilometers away. And as I said earlier, 2 months back, using satellite imagery, we established how this HQ has been expanding ever since Pakistan was sort of whitelisted from FATF grey list. So that's target number 1, responsible for Pathankot attack, responsible for Parliament attack, responsible for hundreds of attacks over past 30 years. That's the HQ. That is where all the Jaish cadres, all the Jaish commanders used to gather, all the planning was, that was the nerve center of Jaish-e-Mohammed, led by Maulana Masood Azhar. Second, Murid Ke, roughly 30 kilometers from Samba border. That is the nerve center of Hafiz Muhammad Saeed's Lashkar. Remember, Hafiz lives in Lahore, but Lashkar lives in Murid Ke, very small tehsil, very small place. Again, right besides a highway, but slightly more populated than Jaish-e-Mohammed's HQ. Murid Ke first came into light after the 26/11 attack, when all the dossiers pointed towards this one place called Murid Ke. Even the Western intelligence from US, from UK pointed towards this place called Murid Ke. So justice has been due for Murid Ke for past 30 years now. Third location, again, it's a place called Gulpur, roughly 35 kilometers from Poonch Rajouri. Why this place was so important? Because in 2023, there was an attack in Poonch. Intelligence pointed towards this place. This was the epicenter where everything was planned, all the training was done. So that is why this particular target was picked. Fourth target, again, what Pakistanis call Sawai Mosque. We call it Lashkar Camp Sawai. Again, inside POK, Tangda sector. Our intelligence agencies believe that the perpetrators of Pahalgam attack used this particular place.
Okay.
Right. So that is why it is important. So when we talk about all these targets, it is not only limited to Pahalgam. This is a revenge for past 30 years of terrorism that has been bleeding India into several cuts. Remember Mumbai, remember Pathankot, remember Uri, everything. All those targets, those 9 centers have been picked. No symbolism here, right? These are actions with very solid consequences, right? To be able to strike a place which is only few kilometers away from a PAF base, this is no joke. This is no symbolism. So India has now kind of up the ante. This cannot be compared with Balakot, cannot be compared with Uri. It is much higher level of response, hitting Jaish-e-Mohammed HQ, hitting Lashkar HQ, as well as those launch pads in POK, in Muzaffarabad, in Kotli. That is so important.
You know, that's where Ankit elucidating why India chose with precision, why India took 2 weeks, and if I can use the word, to curate the terror launch pads that India needed to strike. And viewers, like I said, this night has been history in the making. It's a watershed moment in India's response when it came down to retaliation against terror coming in from Pakistan soil. India will remember this, and so will Pakistan. Till now, what we do know is, we're expecting a press brief where the statement that has come in from the army, that justice have been delivered, Operation Sindoor has been a success. You have the defense minister who said Bharat Mata Ki Jai. And at the back of it, just right after, India conducted these strikes on Pakistan responsibly. As a responsible nation, we put out a press release in which what really is that needed to be read were 4 lines, where India said, this is not escalation. This was a measured, non-escalatory response. It also said that India only targeted terror hotspots and launch pads and did not strike any Pakistan military establishment or installation. At the back of it, Pakistan admitted to these strikes, however, called this an act of war. India striking on these terror outfits, calling it an act of war. I want to cut across. We have Sunil G. Bhatt and Asim Basi with us. Sunil, what's the latest? You're at the Akhnur sector lots of shelling where the border areas are concerned across the LOC. What are you picking up?
Preeti, right now we are in Akhnur sector of Jammu region, and late last night there was some air activity here also. India carried out strikes on the terror hotspots in Pakistan as well as in Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Lashkar's headquarters, which is located in Muridke, there many places were targeted, as well as in Bahawalpur where Jaish's headquarters is located. And as far as Akhnur sector is concerned, after India carried out strikes against Pakistan, Pakistan tried to indulge in a misadventure, and there was air activity here in Akhnur sector also, and Indian Army gave a befitting reply to Pakistan here. And right now you can see that a large number of people have come out of their homes, and because as soon as they learned that there was retaliatory action by India, the people came out and they are here boosting the morale of our jawans. We will speak to the locals here. यहाँ पर रात पर क्या हुआ, यहाँ क्या माहौल?
रात को कुछ आवाज़ ही आई थी को 2-2:30 बजे के करीब, तो सारे लोग जागे थे उस टाइम, कुछ पता नहीं चला, पर अब धीरे धीरे सुबह पता चला है कि पाकिस्तान के ऊपर अच्छी स्ट्राइक की है भारत ने, और मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया। जो पहलगाम में हमारे लोगों को उन्होंने शहीद किया, उनको करारा जवाब दिया गया है इसमें। हाँ,
तो यहाँ आप बताइए, जो मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया गया है पाकिस्तान को, क्या कहेंगे उस पर?
अच्छा किया, होना भी चाहिए था। काफ़ी देर हुआ है, परेशान थे, जो 28 लोगों को जाने गई है, इसी वजह से अच्छा किया जो स्ट्राइक किया, बहुत अच्छा।
You can see that people are expressing their happiness that Pakistan has been given a befitting reply. We have carried out strikes deep inside Pakistan, including Pakistan's Punjab province, but 2 locations, Bahawalpur, Muridke, and we have also hit the terror hotspots in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. This is huge and unprecedented, because even after 26/11, there was talk about targeting the Lashkar headquarters in Punjab province, but at that time this was not done. But this time this option has been explored. A strong will has been shown by the government, and Pakistan's terror factories have been targeted, and a befitting reply has been given to Pakistan. And here, as far as Akhnur sector is concerned, you can see that large number of people have come out to boost the morale of our jawans. There you see that a large number of Indian Army personnel are deployed here. They are maintaining strict vigil, because all through the night there was air activity here in Akhnur sector also, and Pakistan tried to indulge in misadventure, and a befitting reply was given by the Indian Army to Pakistan's provocation. Right now there is the strict vigil here near the line of control here in Akhnur sector. People have come out, they are chanting Bharat Mata Ki Jai slogans, they are boosting the morale of the army personnel, and they are also reaching out to the army personnel and asking them whether they need any food or...
All right, we seem to have lost Sunil. We're going to try and connect back to Sunil, but I want to bring in, because these images, viewers, once again, just look at these 2 splitting images. And Ankit will weigh in on this image, Ankit, because this was what Hafiz Saeed's mosque in Muridke looked like. Basically, the LET headquarters looked like before India's strike, and this is what it looks like after.
Slight correction, Preeti. The mosque on the left is the Bahawalpur Jamia Subhanallah Mosque. So that belongs to Masood Azhar's Jaish-e-Mohammed.
We're going to correct that. We're going to correct the location.
Visuals on the right is Muridke, the nerve center of Lashkar-e-Taiba. So what you see on your left is an aerial shot of Jamia Subhanallah,
which is Jaish-e-Mohammed.
Which is Jaish-e-Mohammed's headquarters in Bahawalpur. This is what we call the nerve center of all entire Jaish operations. Remember, in 2019, India struck Balakot. Balakot was kind of a intermediary place, right? The main spot, where the action actually begins, that is Jaish-e-Mohammed's headquarters in Bahawalpur. Intelligence suggests that Jaish chief Masood Azhar was here as recently as last year in November. Remember, we had put out satellite pictures that showed that this place actually has been increasing over past 2-3 years. Satellite pictures confirm that. There are intelligence intercepts that shows Rauf Asghar, Talha Saif, all these people continuously gathering at this place. Even recruits from all over Pakistan, even from Afghanistan border, they are brought at this very place for training, for indoctrination, and this is the actual launch pad, right? From this place, they are sent to places like Balakot, places like POK, Kotli, Muzaffarabad. But this is the place Masood Azhar believed was so secure because of the presence of PAF base in this particular city. So this is probably the first target, the most high profile target that has been hit in this operation. The visuals that you are seeing is again a very smaller place called Murid Ke, HQ of Lashkar, operational HQ if I may say so. First came in limelight after 26/11 because when Azmal Amir Kasab was arrested, he gave out details of his training of his accomplices. All these people were taken to a place called Murid Ke. They were given armed training. They were provided details how to conduct 26/11 attacks. So when we try to sum up this entire operation, this is not only a revenge for Pahalgam. It is revenge for 26/11. It is revenge for Pulwama. Remember, Pulwama in 2019 was done by Jaish-e-Mohammed. Balakot happened because Jaish-e-Mohammed Jaish-e-Mohammed had a base in Balakot. But again, the nerve center of Jaish-e-Mohammed was not Balakot. It was this place. It has been since 2001. So this is perhaps the most high-profile terror target. It is equivalent to US hitting Abbottabad in 2011, if not bigger than this, because in this particular case, there's not one target. You have 9 targets, and at least 2 of them
have been hit.
At least 2 of them are the operational headquarters. Murid Ke as well as Bahawalpur. These are operational headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba.
You know what he's also elucidated is that why Murid Ke was picked, viewers, because this is redemption. As it comes, it's retribution and it's payback for decades of terror that Pakistan has bled India with. I want to cut across right now, go to my colleague from the Atari border. All right, okay, before we cut across to the Atari border, Arvind Oja joins us from Uri. Arvind, what's the latest?
देखिए प्रीति, सबसे पहले बताऊं, इंडिया टुडे के पास सिर्फ ये जानकारी है 2 बड़े ठिकाने जो पाकिस्तान में मौजूद हैं उनको उड़ाया गया है। जो जानकारी मिली है उसके मुताबिक जो लश्कर-ए-तोयबा का हेडक्वार्टर है, जिसका नाम मरकज-ए-तोयबा कहा जाता है, उसको उड़ा दिया गया है जो ये अटैक हुआ है उसमें। और ये हाफिज सईद का ब्रेन कह सकते हैं जो मुरीद के में मौजूद है, उसको इंडियन एजेंसीज ने, भारतीय सेना ने मिसाइल अटैक में उड़ाया है। जबकि जो दूसरा जो बड़ा आतंकी ठिकाना है वो है मसूद अजहर का मस्जिद सुभान अल्लाह, उसको उड़ाया गया है। और ये दोनों ठिकाने पूरी तरह से ध्वस्त हो चुके हैं जो हमें जानकारी मिली है। बकायदा जो भारतीय खुफिया एजेंसी रॉ है उसने इन जो हाइडआउट्स है, जो ठिकाने हैं, उनको बकायदा आइडेंटिफाई किया था और उसके बाद ये 2 ठिकाने वो पूरी तरह से उड़ा दिए गए हैं। ये हमें जानकारी मिली है अभी। लेकिन ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी खबर है क्योंकि लगातार जो इंडियन एजेंसीज हैं वो आइडेंटिफाई करती रहती थी जो खासतौर से मरकज-ए-तोयबा जो मुरीदके में हाफिज सईद का ठिकाना है। लश्कर के सारे आतंकवादी यहीं पर ट्रेनिंग लेते हैं। लश्कर के कई आतंकवादी सैकड़ों की तादाद में यहाँ मौजूद रहते हैं और जब भी भारत में हमला होता था तब भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन होती तो यही पता चलता था कि जो लश्कर-ए-तोयबा का ठिकाना है मुरीदके में, वहाँ ट्रेनिंग हुई है। 26/11 जो हमला हुआ था उसके जो आतंकी थे वो भी यहीं पर ट्रेनिंग लिए थे मरकज-ए-तोयबा में। तो इसको उड़ा दिया गया है मिसाइल अटैक में। आपको याद होगा संसद भवन पे हमला हुआ था, वो जो ट्रेनिंग हुई थी वो हुई थी मस्जिद सुभान अल्लाह में। उस मस्जिद को भी जो जैश का ठिकाना है उसको भी उड़ा दिया गया है। ये हमें खुफिया एजेंसियों से जानकारी मिली है और सटीक जानकारी है इंडिया टुडे के पास कि ये 2 ठिकाने जैश के इनको उड़ा दिया गया है। और ये बहुत बड़ी बात इसलिए भी है क्योंकि हमेशा इंडियन एजेंसीज जब भारत में कोई हमला होता था तो ये जो ठिकाने थे वो आइडेंटिफाई होते थे और इंडियन एजेंसीज बाकायदा वहां की मूवमेंट ट्रैक करती थी, लेकिन कभी नहीं कोई सोचा नहीं होगा कि इस जगह पर भारत अटैक कर सकता है। और भारत ने अटैक किया है मरकज-ए-तोयबा जो हाफिज सईद का जो लश्कर का हेडक्वार्टर आप इसे कह सकते हैं, इसको उड़ा दिया गया है। जबकि दूसरा जो बहावलपुर, पाकिस्तान के बहावलपुर में जो मस्जिद सुभान अल्लाह है जैश की, इसको उड़ा दिया गया है। ये 2 ऐसे बड़े ठिकाने हैं जहां पाकिस्तानी की खुफिया एजेंसी ISI, पाकिस्तान की आर्मी, वो बाकायदा हाफिज सईद से एक तरफ मरकज-ए-तोयबा में मिलकर मीटिंग करती थी और भारत में हमले की प्लानिंग करती थी। जबकि जो मस्जिद सुभान अल्लाह जो जैश का चीफ मसूद अजहर का ठिकाना है, वहां पर मीटिंग्स होती थी। ये 2 ठिकाने भारत के लिए सरदर्द बने हुए थे कई सालों से। आप सीरीज वाइज अटैक देख लीजिए, 26/11 हमला, उसकी ट्रेनिंग मुरीदके में हुई थी, उस ठिकाने को उड़ाया गया है। संसद भवन पे जो हमला हुआ था वो मस्जिद सुभान अल्लाह में बैठकर उसकी प्लानिंग हुई थी, उसको उड़ा दिया गया। तो ये भारतीय खुफिया एजेंसियों के जरिए इंडिया टुडे को एक्सक्लूसिव जानकारी मिली है, हमारे पास उसकी तस्वीरें भी हैं, उसको उड़ा दिया गया है।
Go ahead.
I know a lot of journalists from Western countries would be following our broadcast, and we know that Pakistani military was planning a trip for journalists to Muridke, to Bahawalpur. It was scheduled today, and they will be questioning, they will be given sort of evidence that India has hit civilian targets. My one bit of advice for all of them: don't trust Indian agencies, don't trust Indian intelligence sources. Go check what David Coleman Headley told FBI. Go check what he told FBI. He said that he visited Muridke. It is in his confession. David Coleman Headley, currently in US jail, arrested by the FBI, has testified that he received trainings at Lashkar headquarters in Muridke. And as Arvind was saying, it was unthinkable that India would be in a position to hit a place like Muridke someday. So this is very important. Similarly, JEM headquarters that you see on the left side of your screen, it was unthinkable that India will be able to hit this place. POK, Balakot was kind of, similar. But to hit places like Jamia Subhanallah, to hit places like Markaz-e-Taiba in Muridke, it was unthinkable, and there are enough evidence. There's enough evidence as to why this place as well as Muridke has been the heart of terrorism that has been bleeding India for several decades now.
Well, Ankit, you are right, because the propaganda machinery of Pakistan is already overworking. There is so much disinformation, viewers, right now that Pakistan is trying to spread at the back of India conducting these strikes on terror launch pads in Pakistan is amazing. So, everybody's a little richer than buying in to just that with what Pakistan has to say, because, that propaganda machinery is churning over time. And let's cut across right now, viewers. I want to go, we have Mir Farid who's joining us with more information coming in, because at the back and of India's strike on these terror launch pads and where these terrorists live, 9 areas in Pakistan, there has been heavy shelling, mortar shelling now coming in from across the LOC, from Pakistan side in multiple areas where the LOC is concerned. There is also a travel advisory, and once again, this is not about panic. We don't want to sound alarmist at all. This is just standard operating procedure in times like this. Airlines like Air India, like Indigo, if you have a flight to Kashmir, if you have a flight to border areas, or Jodhpur, or Jaisalmer, or Punjab, then do check before you go in, because there have been changes that have been made where these flight schedules are concerned. I want to cut across to Mir. Srinagar Airport, Mir, right now stands suspended for any civilian operation as well. What more can you add?
Yes, Preeti. In fact, as you rightly said, a lot of propaganda online, a lot of fake news being peddled, but we'll basically bank on facts and what we get to know from official sources and reliable sources. Right now, I can tell you, Srinagar airport civilian operations have been absolutely shut. Srinagar skies are silent. There was a lot of fighter jet movement around 1 a.m. to 2 a.m., but post that there has been silence. So also, we're getting reports that at least 3 locations there have been reports of fighter jets, UAVs that have crashed in Jammu and Kashmir. One in Pampur, where I'm standing. Behind me, a school was hit. This happened at around 2:30 in the morning. And it is a fighter jet. I can confirm to you this much. And I can also tell you that this perimeter has been secured by security forces. And this fighter jet has crashed right in between a house and a school. Fortunately for the locals, it is a congested area. No one, in fact, one child has been injured in this, that much I can confirm to you, but no casualties. The remains of this fighter jet are scattered in a large area, so the Air Force is trying to secure the perimeter. We also do not have any information about the pilot, but yes, a lot of tension, and as you rightly said,
All right, Meera, I'm going to continue to come back to you, but viewers, once again, you cannot emphasize enough on how historic this night has been, where India's strike for retribution is concerned. This will be recorded as a watershed night or a red letter day when it comes down to India retaliating to Pakistan, when it comes down to terror. Cutting across to Gaurav Sawant.
Hello and welcome to an India Today special broadcast. It's a big, big day. India has hit back at Pakistan's state-sponsored radical Islamist terror and hit at the heart of Pakistani terror in Muridke and in Bahawalpur in Pakistan, Punjab province. But that's not all. India strikes Pakistan after Pahalgam, and it's not 1 or 2, but 9 different targets across Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir that have been struck overnight. Precision strike by the Army, the Navy and the Indian Air Force. Simultaneous strikes from 3 different locations at 9 different locations in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. And this is India's Operation Sindoor. Remember what the Pakistani terrorists did in Pahalgam. They wiped out the Sindoor of Indian Hindu women when they killed their husbands. The 25 Indians and 1 Nepali citizen were killed. India has hit back. 9 different locations, from Muzaffarabad in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir to Kotli, to when you come to Pakistan to Sialkot, from Sialkot to Muridke, the headquarters of Lashkar-e-Taiba. Remember that professor of terror, Hafiz Muhammad Saeed, has his headquarters in Muridke. But that's not all. Just go down to Bahawalpur, again the heart of Pakistan's Punjab province in southern Pakistan, Punjab. Bahawalpur is the headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed. And this is not retribution just for Pahalgam. IC-814 hijack in 1999. That's the time that Maulana of terror, Masood Azhar, had to be released. He went to Bahawalpur in Pakistan's Punjab and set up Jaish-e-Mohammed, which repeatedly bled India from the Parliament attack to the Pathankot attack to the Pulwama attack. Finally, that terror headquarters has been targeted as part of India's Operation Sindoor. Hafiz Muhammad Saeed's terror training camp has also been destroyed, and the information we have, this was a joint operation of the Indian Army, the Indian Navy and the Indian Air Force. And India Today has the biggest team of reporters getting you 360-degree perspective of the precision strikes in Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir using the Rafale fighter jets. You had the Sukhoi 30 MKIs, you had the Mirage 2000s, and there's a massive exercise of the Indian Air Force that's currently underway. I want to quickly cut across to Pampur in Jammu and Kashmir. Joining me now from Ground Zero is India Today's Mir Fareed. Mir, massive strikes into Pakistan, but Pakistan is also talking about a process where it will hit back What's the latest situation on ground?
Well, Gaurav, obviously, a lot of tension. Two, three things I can confirm to you straight away is that the Srinagar Civil Airport, civil traffic has been shut at Srinagar Airport. And right now, I'm in Pampur. Now, as we have been reporting since morning, early morning, that there's a fighter jet that has crashed in this particular location. The remains of this jet are scattered in a large area. Air Force, Garud commandos, and everyone has come to the location. The periphery has been completely sealed. But just to give you an idea of where it has happened, I'll ask Tariq. This is the tree. In fact, the chinar tree has taken the brunt of this particular crash, because otherwise a civilian built-up area and there could have been casualties. Right now, we won't speculate whose plane is this. Obviously, defense officials will come up with clarity on the same. But we've been told that at least 3 such incidents have happened across Jammu and Kashmir at 3 locations, and all 3 locations being secured by the Air Force and the
Stay with me for a moment for the benefit of viewers who are joining us. I want to get you the latest. 14 days after the Pahalgam terror attack by Pakistan, India strikes back. India targeted 9 locations across Pakistan, and Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and the precision strike exactly at 01:44 hours. 1:44 in the morning, 9 targets acquired. Successful hit by the Indian Army, the Indian Navy, and the Indian Air Force. Now, there were 4 targets in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir and 5 in Pakistan. The targets in Pakistan, very, very significant. They include Bahawalpur, the headquarters of Jaish-e-Mohammed, Muridke, the headquarters of Lashkar-e-Taiba, Sialkot and Sarjal. There's a special ammunition that was used to target these terror camps. These were PGMs or precision-guided munition. You had the Scalp cruise missiles fired off a Rafale. You also had the Hammer missile precision munition. Once again, Hammer as in highly agile modular munition of an extended range that can hit a target almost 70 kilometers away. And the Scalp cruise missile, also known as the Storm Shadow, that can hit a target more than 500 kilometers away. India has demolished the masjid linked to the Pahalgam terror attack mastermind, the professor of terror, Hafiz Mohammed Saeed, a UN-designated terrorist. The mosque, which was close to the place where Hafiz Saeed lived, has been taken down. Sources say that mosque was linked to Lashkar-e-Taiba activities. Not just that, the Lashkar-e-Taiba headquarters, the Markaz-e-Taiba, has also been demolished. The attack was carried out using 4 precision the munition at 4 different locations in Pakistan, and of course also in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Sources are telling India Today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi constantly monitored the entire operation from his 7 Lok Kalyan Marg residence. The operation also involved a joint strike by the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. So you had the Rafale Omni-Role fighter jets that were involved in these operations, firing the Scalp cruise missile, a long-range air-launched cruise missile with a 500 kilometers plus range with a 450-kilogram warhead. It has a 2-stage detonation. Stage 1 is penetration and stage 2 is blast fragmentation. The images that you see on your television screen are images that have been shot from a mobile phone camera in Pakistan at that massive destruction, that massive explosion that took place once the scalps and the hammers found their target. But that's not all. Seaborne strikes were also carried out as part of the coordinated attacks at Bahawalpur. India, of course, has now informed global powers after the attack on Pakistan terror training camps and launch pads. Sources tell India Today top Indian diplomats have spoken to their counterparts, not just in the United States of America, but also in Russia, the United Kingdom, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates immediately after the strikes. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, he briefed his US counterpart Marco Rubio. Donald Trump, the US president, has reacted, saying he hopes tensions will end soon, will de-escalate. Now, I want to show you on a map not just of Pakistan, but also of Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir for a better appreciation of the wide range of targets that were acquired, not just Muzaffarabad and Kotli in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, but Sialkot, Bahawalpur and Murid ke in Pakistan. We are also told